Alright guys, today we are going to break into Silver Tempest. That's right, the newest set from the Pokemon TCG brought out for you guys today. We're going to have a good look at what's in this set from the Japanese release, and then also discuss whether or not we should be jumping into this set for an investment. Number one, the actual sealed product, and number two, the chase card in this set. So guys, if you're new here, hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and as always, hit that like button. We can get 85 likes in this video. It's greatly appreciated. Helps out a ton, and of course, it's free for you, so be sure that you hit that like, subscribe, and notify before you leave. Now, we are so close to 2,000 that by the time this video is released, we may have crossed that 2,000 subscriber barrier, and if we have, thank you everybody for hitting that subscribe button. Of course, we still have about 500 subscribers before we hit our next major milestone here on the channel, because we hit 1,000, 25, 5,000, 75, and then 10,000, of course, will be our huge milestone where I really roll out some stuff, guys, if we actually get to that point. But if we don't, we don't, and we'll just enjoy each other's company through all of time at a low level. But as it goes, we're getting close to that 2,500. At that point, I'll start releasing some information here for giveaways that I plan on doing for you guys for being here and supporting this channel all this time, guys. It's greatly appreciated, of course, as we move forward. So, guys, today the big news, of course, is Silver Tempest. We're going to go into Silver Tempest and talk about if it's a Pokemon investment or is this something that you should be waiting on? What's actually inside of the set that has substance? Is there anything that has value to it, or is it just a bunch of leftover stuff? So first thing I'm going to say is that this is all my opinion. Once again, most of the stuff that's on this channel is, but I'm being clear on this. This has got really just my feelings on it by looking through the Japanese release, which was on September 2nd, and taking a look at what's in it that has substance that's going to be maybe a collecting item, or is it going to be something that's going to be sought after when it comes to the collecting investing. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the meta because I haven't really taken a long list or look at the list and seeing how I could maybe play with these cards. But as we move forward into this, maybe I'll look at the meta side of things. If you have interest in that, let me know in the comments below. Would you like to hear about the meta side of things, the actual playability of these cards? Because I do play, and do you want to hear about that, or is it just something you're not interested in and I should stick with the investment side? So let me know in the comments below on that. So overall, the set that was released in Japan right now is very, in my opinion, underwhelming. I feel that this set could fall right into the same area as Rebels Clash, going all the way through to Fusion Strike, moving up into, Lost Origins and also Astral Radiance. I don't think that there's anything in this set that's going to really make it go pop. Going to make this a huge investment, at least right off the bat. I think overall in the future, bringing back that Lost Zone mechanics, people are going to get that Neo feel to it. I think it's kind of what they were going back to it. Is, of course, Lugia's release and Neo series, along with bringing in the unknown factor into this. We're getting all the unknowns back in one card for an unknown V-Star card inside of here, which I thought was a cool little reminiscent to all of us old collectors out there that enjoyed Pokemon as a kid, made it through Neo, of course, saw the unknowns when they were released, and, of course, Lugia's big debut in Neo. So, once again, there's kind of some reminiscent things inside of it that could maybe draw people into it somewhat, but I just don't feel that there's enough of a draw into it to bring in enough modern collectors to be enjoying this set. Once again, Lugia is going to be your big driving factor. Some of us OG people enjoy them alternate arts from the OG Pokemon, such as Lugia and Charizard and all those. We're getting the Radiant cards in this set. The Radiant cards that will be in here, of course, are the Alakazam Radiant and the Radiant Jirachi, both inside of this set. Once again, awesome little characters in that Radiant collection. They've been doing really good on picking select Pokemon in that Radiant collection. And to me, it's not as common as, and this is my feelings from my pull rates, they're not quite as common as an Amazing Rare, but they're still fairly prevalent inside of the set. So once again, you do get quite a few of them. They are fairly easy to get, but they're a little bit harder to get than a Amazing Rare was back in Vivid Voltage and Shining Fates. But they're still, to me, they're going to be overall, there's going to be so many of them out there that there's not going to be very much value to those either for a really long time. Once again, they're a cool card. I like the backgrounds. I think that they will stand out in the future, especially if you're looking at doing sets of Radiance. So if you were to get, PSA 10 graded Radiance and a collection of them, then maybe you would have a selling point with that factor, 9s, 8s, whatever. just start lining them up in those collection factors. I think that would be a good opportunity in the investment side for those. But overall, I think they're going to be a little bit slow. And as time goes on, more and more of them are going to come out, and they're going to continue to become less and less lackluster. But what good news is that we still do have that trainer gallery in this set. Trainer gallery, of course, has a very good draw when it comes down to it. There's some really good trainers in here, and I'll put them up next to me, some of the ones that are in the Japanese set. But there's one thing that worries me when it comes to the investment of this set, and why I say this may end up more like a Fusion Strike than what we've seen with even a Brilliant Stars or a Chilling Reign, or even going all the way back to a Vivid Voltage. The thing is that this set is really going to get hit with is all of the remaining and missing Pokemon cards that were released in Japan that are not in English yet are all going to be in this set. So once again, we are going to get a lot of microwave leftovers inside of the set, as we see several times in the past. Fusion Strike being the last victim of that, having all of these leftover cards that made no sense in the set showing up inside of it because they were trying to get them out before the end of the year and before everything rolled over into the next year's meta versions. And we're going to see that again coming to the end of Sword and Shield. We're going to be seeing a lot of garbage cards inside of here, a lot of cards that have just been missing, and maybe not necessarily garbage cards, but they just don't make sense for the set, right? They're just going to dump them inside of here, which that means that this set could immensely grow compared to its Japanese counterpart. We could be seeing a large number of cards inside of here that just don't make sense, don't belong, and makes the set gigantic, pushing that 230, 240, 250 range on the sets, which makes it extremely difficult to get a full collection. Finishing the master sets becomes nearly impossible, and overall it can be a really put a big bad flavor into people's mouths when it comes down to it, not wanting to be having to open all these packs when it comes down to it at the end of the day. So the question is this going to be investable? I think the Lugia alternate art will be an investable card, guys. I think overall you've got enough OG people such as myself. I want that Lugia alternate art to put right next to my Charizard alternate art. I think that that's a good lineup of the OG Pokemon from back in the day. It's a nice little setup for that part of it. So I think that there's going to be a draw for it. Do I think you should be buying it pre-release? It'd be a gamble if you did. Personally, I would wait until release, even that we saw the Charizard alternate art, even all the way down to the Giratina and all those other cards. They come out of the gates really high. They dip, and at that little dip, you could purchase them right there when you're watching it go down. As soon as you start seeing it go up again, then you could get there at that little dip and get a little bit after the release, because people will be trying to move this. There will be sales. There'll be things moving on it. And of course, as that happens, we see kind of a reduction in the prices. We see how much are out there. The also factor to this is going to be the pull rates of that card. Once again, watch TCG Player in the first week and a half. Even Danny Phantom does a fantastic job, and a shout out to him. Be sure to go subscribe to Danny Phantom's channel, but he does a really good analysis of the pull rates of these these packs when he gets them, so we can see what kind of pull rates are we looking on those Lugias or some of those chase cards inside of that set, and that way you have an idea whether or not it's something you should be jumping in on. So once again, do I think it's investable on the single side? Yes, I think that Lugia will be an investable card, especially if you can get it PSA graded, get it on the front side, you know, get that PSA 10 right away out of the gates. I think you'll have a really good opportunity on that set. But in the long run, do I think that it'll hold up? Yes, I think it'll do really well in the long run also, just because it's a lot of OG, a lot of people like myself that were back in Neo, a lot of people that are excited about seeing that Lugia. I'm excited, guys. That Lugia is a really nice looking card. I love the artwork of this alternate art. It's very much like a dark Lugia type alternate art, which is beautiful. The artist on this one did a fantastic job capturing that dark presence, or that presence of Lugia, but giving it that dark feel to it, even though Lugia is, of course, the source of wind and power for the one village. Yes, we get it, but it's an awesome rendition of them. So definitely kudos to the person who drew that up. Overall, product. Do I think that the booster boxes, ETBs, and those things will be investable? I go back and forth on it, guys. I think that this is going to be one of those sets. You could wait the first couple months to see where this prices drop. As we've seen with Fusion Strike, Lost Origin, going all the way through to Astral Radiance, we're going to see this product probably slowly drop down under $100 pretty easily, depending on the amount of reprint that's available here as we go into the Christmas time. We're going to see possibly even more push down on that. I mean, we could be seeing around that $90 booster boxes. Once again, seeing $80 booster boxes right now is probably not going to happen any longer. And I'm going to tell you why right now as an investment side, why you're probably not going to see that. even the distributors are selling these booster boxes at about $82 to $86 a piece, depending on your LGS. In that case, that's about the bare minimum that you're going to find these booster boxes at, right, guys? Just so you know, if you're expecting to see $72, $80, $85 booster boxes anymore, it's probably not going to happen unless you have direct contact with the LGS to purchase those, and then they'll sell them to you maybe at their costs, plus shipping or whatever they've got into them if they're trying to move product. And if they're not trying to move product, then of course they won't be selling them to you for anything cheaper than $100. So overall, right now, if a booster box hits $90, $95, I think you've almost hit rock bottom. That's probably the lowest that they're going to go, just because of that initial, upcharge when it comes down to these booster boxes. Even ETBs have gone up, guys. I don't think that you're going to be seeing these low sub 35, the sub 30 ETBs happening anytime soon on these new, Pokemon products or these new Pokemon sets, just due to that fact. So once again, keep that in mind when you're looking at the investment side. When you see these booster boxes hit that 95, 90 range, just remember that's probably the lowest that they're going to go, unless the LGS is completely just trying to sell to get rid of everything that they've got for whatever reason. Then you may see some $86 ones out there, but really $86 is probably going to be the bottom dollar that you're going to see, plus shipping. So once again, just keep that in mind as you're moving forward on the investment things. Things have changed on the LGS side to the distributor side for the pricing on these things, and that's going to be a big factor when it comes down to purchasing these products as an investment. Once again, is this set overall investable? I think it's got a good shot at being fairly good investment overall. I think we're going to see a little bit of a lull, and if you're a long-term investor and you were to pick these up at $90, the booster box, $95, even just under $100, I think in the long run, 10, 15 years down the road, you're going to do fantastic on these, because once again, this Lugia card is a fantastic looking Lugia card. People will be looking to get that card out of there, and as product starts to dwindle in the Pokemon TCG, we may be going back to a Sun and Moon scenario that you're just going to have to wait as the wheels turn and people continually open these things. And 5 years down the road, PokeRev's doing a fancy opening of ripping open a older box of Pokemon from Sword and Shield, and it happens to be this to get that draw of attention. But as long as they continue to open these products and they continue to do things with these products, the prices will continue to move up in the near or in the long-term future of these products. So overall, I think it's got a good chance of being a decent investment. I think there's some decent opportunities up front, but I don't think it's a real rushed investment. You can really wait and see how these markets are going to go over the next 6 months and see where it goes. So once again, that's my take on Silver Tempest. I'm not going to go through and break down the cards like I've done in the past, guys. I don't think you guys really want to see that kind of stuff. You just want to know, am I going to be investing? Am I going to be jumping into this set? Is this something that you should be looking at an investment? Is this something you should be doing? And overall, guys, the set itself, not very strong. I think that alone Vulpix will do fairly well. I think it'll have some demand, especially out of the gates, along with the unknowns. I think the unknown V-Star will actually have a little bit of a jump at it, because people are going to want to get the Lugia alternate art and the unknowns, just because it's a cool little rendition back to the Neo era, especially myself. I really want one of those unknown V-Stars. Hopefully they're not very hard to pull. Hopefully I can get one fairly cheap. It'd just be kind of fun to have one. If I can get one out of a pack, would be a great just plus for myself when we do our small little bit of openings. So other than that, guys, hopefully that was some good information. Hopefully this was fun. Hopefully it's a little bit different. Let me know in the comments if you want me to change this even more when I'm looking at new sets, or if I should just continue this. Should I just talk about the set and how I feel, whether it's investable, whether or not the singles are investable, and should I throw in the meta? Other than that, guys, if we did bring you some good information, of course, hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and hit that like button on this video. Greatly appreciated, guys. As always, check out these two videos up next to me. I'll put them up for your information afterwards, and we will see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.